Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. In today's episode, things take a shocking turn. Because the moment Alex drove his silver car down that quiet countryside road, he had no idea someone had already planned to attack him, rob him, and destroy his ability to run his own company. And the craziest part? The person behind it all might be someone he trusted the most. What do you think about that kind of betrayal? Is there ever an excuse strong enough to justify crossing such a line? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next episode. The countryside road stretched long and empty as Alex's silver four-seater sedan rolled gently over the fading asphalt. It was early evening, the sky tinted gold. His windows were half open, letting in the smell of grass and dust. Beside him on the passenger seat rested a slim black folder, documents for the next day's payments to the farmers. It was supposed to be a quiet, ordinary drive home. It should have been nothing more than that. But halfway down the narrow road, a motorbike lurched out from a side path and stopped dead right in front of Alex's car. Alex slammed the brakes. The sedan screeched, tires grinding against the dirt. Before he could process what was happening, 3 masked men rushed toward him. One yanked his car door open, another grabbed his collar. The third reached straight for the folder. "Get him out! Quick! Take everything!" They weren't moving like amateurs. They were fast, coordinated, clearly following orders. Alex was dragged out of the driver's seat, stumbling as his shoulder hit the ground. A fist struck his jaw. Another hit his ribs. The blows were rough, meant to stun him, but not meant to kill. Still, they were painful enough to leave him dizzy and bruised. "Hit him harder!" one of them barked. "He needs to drop!" They wanted him down. They wanted him incapacitated. They wanted him to land in a hospital bed, unable to move. But fate didn't let the attack go as planned. A nearby farmer riding home on his bicycle heard the commotion. He stopped and stared for 1 second, just long enough to understand something was terribly wrong. Then shouted toward a neighbor's house. "Hey, there's trouble! Someone's attacking that man!" More voices followed, more footsteps, more people rushing toward the road. The attackers panicked. "Go! Go now!" They grabbed the folder and sprinted back to their motorbike. The engine revved loudly before they sped off down the road, disappearing behind a cloud of dust, furious because the job wasn't completed. Alex lay on his back, breathing hard, dust clinging to his clothes. His cheek was scraped. His lip was bleeding slightly. His shoulders ached sharply from the impact, but he could still move. He could still talk. And most importantly, he was still conscious. The villagers gathered around him. "You okay? Can you stand?" What did they want? With their help, he got back into his car and rested for a moment. He wasn't seriously injured, just shaken, bruised, and painfully aware that the attack wasn't random. Those men weren't after cash. They were after him. A cold realization settled in Alex's chest. Someone wants me out of the way. He drove slowly toward the nearest clinic while replaying the scene over and over. Whoever was behind the attack had made a mistake. They underestimated him. They thought a few punches would send him to the hospital for days. They were wrong. After a quick examination, the doctor confirmed what Alex had already suspected. He only had minor scratches and bruises, no fractures, no internal damage. He would be sore for a while, but he was far from helpless. When the doctor left, Alex sat alone on the clinic bed, fists clenched. Someone planned this. Someone knew my route. Someone thought I would collapse, and that terrifies them more now that I didn't. His mind instantly turned to the one person he had already started to doubt, Min. And he wasn't wrong. At that exact moment, in a dim cafe across town, Min's phone buzzed with a message from the hired attackers. He got away. People showed up. The job wasn't clean. Min froze. His breath hitched. "What do you mean he got away?" he hissed into the phone. "I told you to make sure he couldn't walk." The answer came back shaky. "We didn't have time. Someone interfered." Min's anger snapped. He slammed his palm on the table, face twisting with frustration. Alex wasn't in the hospital like Min needed. Alex wasn't knocked out for days like he had paid for. Alex was alive, walking, thinking, and worst of all, probably suspicious. Min raked a hand through his hair, panic rising at the thought of his gambling debts piling up, deadlines approaching, collectors circling him like vultures. He had one option left. He messaged Mai, "Come home. We need to talk. Now." Mai arrived at her house first. She unlocked the door, stepped inside, and sank heavily into the living room sofa. Her heart was pounding. Her head was swirling. She had just received Min's message about the failed attack on Alex. And somehow, the news that Alex wasn't seriously hurt, should have relieved her, only made her more tense. She stared blankly at the wall. Fear, guilt, and greed twisted together inside her. She whispered to herself, "What am I doing? How did it become like this?" But before she could think further, her phone buzzed again. A new message from Min, sharper than the last. "Don't try to run. We talk tonight." Mai closed her eyes, knowing she was now in deeper than she ever wanted to be. That night, one truth became crystal clear to Alex, to Min, and to Mai. This wasn't over. It was only the beginning. The cafe was quiet, the kind of place where whispers could be heard as clearly as shouts. Mai stepped inside, scanning the room until she saw Min in a shadowed corner booth. His leg bounced uncontrollably under the table, and his eyes darted around as if expecting someone to burst through the door at any second. She approached slowly. Before she could even sit, Min snapped, "Close the door behind you, and hurry." Mai obeyed, sliding into the seat across from him. She could feel the tension radiating off him, sharp, frantic, desperate. He wasted no time. "We can't delay the plan anymore," he said, voice cutting through the hum of the cafe. "Do you understand? We can't postpone anything." Mai blinked, startled by the intensity in his tone. "Min, what happened?" He let out a shaky breath and leaned forward, gripping the table so hard his knuckles whitened. "I'm drowning, Mai. The people I owe money to, they're not giving me warnings anymore. They're threatening me. They're threatening us." She swallowed hard. "How much do you owe?" "Enough to get killed over," he spat. "And they want their money now. Not next week, not tomorrow. Now." Mai felt her stomach twist. She knew Min gambled, but not like this. Not to the point of risking both their lives. Min exhaled shakily, then said the words that made Mai's blood run cold. "I sent people after Alex." Her breath caught. "What?" Min didn't stop. He spoke faster, more frantically, as if the truth was exploding out of him. "I ordered them to rob him, to steal the payment money he was carrying, and to rough him up enough that he wouldn't be able to run the company for a while. Just long enough for me to get the money I need." Mai's hand flew to her mouth. "You tried to." "I didn't tell them to kill him," Min snapped. "Just injure him, put him out of commission. But even that they couldn't do right." He slammed his fist on the table, making the cups rattle. He only got a few scratches, a couple bruises. He's probably walking around right now plotting how to screw me over. Min leaned closer, eyes wild with panic. So, now you need to prepare yourself, Mai. Things are going to get intense. She opened her mouth, but Min didn't let her speak. You have no choice anymore, he hissed. I don't care how scared you are. I don't care what you think Alex suspects. You're already in this. You helped me too many times. You know too much. Mai felt her throat tighten. She tried to stand, but Min grabbed her wrist. You're not listening, he said through clenched teeth. There is no backing out. If you walk away now, you won't survive what comes next. Alex won't forgive you, and my debt collectors won't forgive me. His voice dropped lower, almost a whisper. This is the only way, for both of us. Mai's chest rose and fell rapidly. She hated everything about this. She hated the lies, the danger, the guilt strangling her. But as Min released her wrist, she felt something darker stir in her chest, a whisper of temptation. Money, power, escape, all the things she thought she might gain if the plan succeeded. Min stood abruptly. We're done here. Act normal. Tomorrow you get close to Alex. You play the role. You get me what I need. Without waiting for her reply, he turned and walked out of the cafe, leaving Mai trembling in the dim light. Mai returned home in a haze. The moment she stepped into her living room, she collapsed onto the sofa, burying her face in her hands. Fear pulsed through her veins. Regret clawed at her heart. She felt trapped on all sides, by Min's threats, by Alex's trust, by her own choices. How did I let it get this far? She whispered, voice cracking. But then, slowly, painfully, another thought crept in. If Min succeeds, the money will change everything. I won't be at the bottom anymore. I won't struggle ever again. Her breathing steadied, just barely. She sat upright, staring at the wall, torn between guilt and greed, between survival and destruction, between the person she used to be and the person she was becoming. Her phone buzzed, a message from Min. Tomorrow, don't fail. Mai closed her eyes. I won't, she whispered. Though whether she was reassuring him or herself, she didn't know. Across town, Alex sat in the clinic room, staring at the sterile white wall in front of him. His cheek throbbed, his shoulders stung, but compared to what Min intended, he had gotten off easy. Too easy. He replayed the attack again in his mind. The targeted move toward his documents, the coordinated blows, the way they tried to force him onto the ground. This wasn't a robbery. This was a warning, a message. Someone wanted him disabled, maybe even destroyed. He clenched his jaw. Who knew he was carrying money? Who knew his route? Who knew enough about him to plan an ambush? Only a few people. And one name pulsed louder than the rest. Min. The more Alex thought about it, the clearer the truth became. It wasn't random. It wasn't an accident. It was betrayal. He stood, ignoring the dull pain in his ribs. He wasn't going to hide. He wasn't going to rest. He wasn't going to let anyone push him out of his own company. I'm going to find out who did this, he whispered, and I'm going to end it. He had no idea that tomorrow someone would walk into his room with a soft smile and intentions far darker than he ever imagined. And when their paths collided, everything he thought he knew about loyalty, trust, and love would be ripped apart. Alex is driving his silver sedan down a quiet countryside road when he's suddenly ambushed by 3 masked men. They rough him up and steal his documents, hoping to injure him badly enough to stop him from running his company. But thanks to nearby villagers, Alex escapes with only minor injuries. Furious that the plan failed, Min, drowning in gambling debt and desperate for cash, meets Mai at a cafe. He admits he ordered the attack and pressures her to continue deceiving Alex. Terrified but trapped, Mai returns home filled with regret, yet her greed quietly resurfaces. Meanwhile, Alex, recovering at a small clinic, realizes the attack wasn't random. Someone close to him knew his route and intentions. Suspicion sharpens as he prepares to uncover the truth, unaware that Mai will soon step back into his life with hidden motives.